Not everybody buys a bike with the intention of covering thousands and thousands of miles in one trip. But if you did, you might buy something like this, a BMW with fitted panniers. You can get all your bits and pieces in there. If you want a bit more luggage space and, dare I say it, a bit more comfort, a Honda Goldwing with all the bells and buttons and gadgets, that would take you anywhere you wanted to go. You could almost fall asleep while you were riding it. Very popular on the continent these days is this type of thing, giant trailer. Comfy, you can put panniers on it and go wherever you want with no problem. But would you consider a massively long journey on this thing here? Yes, it's an Enfield single cylinder 500cc. Nothing fancy, very, very low technology. I wouldn't fancy going very, very far on this, but I know a man who did. And here is that man, Robert Ashworth. Robert, where did you go on this?
Well, basically I flew over to India and went from Madras to Manchester. And my route took me through, well, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and basically all the way back through Europe.
Great, I think you're completely mad, I have to say, but I mean, could you not have just gone around the Lake District or somewhere? Why did you have to go all that way?
Well, mainly because I found a diary of my great-grandfather's from 1902. And basically he was a textiles man and went out to India to buy things. And looking at this diary, and he went through India and Pakistan, Iran, and I thought, well, I'd love to follow his route back. So I did.
Right, well, about the bike, it's not exactly high tech, and there are, as you are no doubt aware, much more capable touring machines than this. So why an Enfield?
Well, you say I might be aware, but I mean, at the time I knew nothing about bikes. And basically one bike was the same as the other to me. I didn't have a driving licence, never driven a bike before. And I thought, well, I want to do this as authentic as possible. So by picking a 1955 Royal Enfield, I thought, well, you know, that'd be the best way to do it. I was wrong, you know, it was a hell of a journey. I mean, it was exciting, it was dangerous, the bike broke down loads, we saw some fantastic things. I mean, really, almost too much to put into words, but I did film it all.
January the 8th, 1902, saw my great-grandfather, William Lomas, journey to Madras, India from Manchester, spending 5 long weeks aboard the cruise ship Arcadia. Almost a century on, I chose a train, not a ship, to find Madras, and decided to pursue the return route by vintage motorcycle. The dealer, Mohammed Arthur Daly, was quite adamant on a guided tour around his showroom. Only one careful owner, full service history, and never been raced or rallied. The Royal Enfield was a snip at just £1,000 English. A free Hindu blessing by fire and coconut water was thrown in for good measure. The first problem, though, was getting the 1955 machine started.
Sometimes it's quite difficult, really.
With 1 day's driving experience, dubious insurance, and a meaningless Indian driving licence, I was expecting the 23,000-mile route to be tough. But with youthful exuberance, I left Madras with my Spanish girlfriend Nuria for what we thought would be the last time. We soon had our first experience of the dangers of the Indian road network and the frequent casualties that litter the highway. This one happened just minutes before we arrived, but made little impression on the other drivers. Our first destination was Hampi, the seat of Hanuman the monkey god, in the state of Karnataka, about 200 miles from Madras. It was once the capital of one of the largest Hindu empires. Now a small town in an eerie landscape, it is a centre for meditation for Indian priests. I hope his concentration doesn't shake the rocks. Every year, the residents of the town act the goat in Holi, the exuberant colour festival, where they throw large quantities of powdered paint over each other. The children get quite excited and exact their revenge cruelly. This is a great day for the laundrette, but not for wearing decent clothes, because no one's spared.
As you can see, we're coloured, as is everybody else.
After a bucket shower and a brush-up, we encountered our first problems with the British engineering, so I had to return to Madras for a mechanic. As the sun set over the Indian horizon, we couldn't help but think that the journey was over before it had even really started.